Flosstube, it's Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. I'm back for an update video. It has been a while, but I had a great summer. I have accomplished quite a bit. Not as many finishes as I would like, but I've worked on a lot of things. Let's put it that way. Traveled quite a bit. I went to a conference, helped my son move over here, which I think I mentioned that on my last video. It's been a great summer, but the semester is starting in 2 weeks. Faculty go back next week. I'm the interim chair, so I started as interim chair on the 31st of July, so I've been back for a couple weeks. But I figured this would be a great time to kind of restart my videos since it's a new semester and I will start it as a new, I guess, season of Jen's Stitching Niche on Flosstube. Anyway, I have quite a bit to share with you. I have a few finishes, some works in progress, some UFOs, some plans, and then I've also had several new projects other than cross stitch that I've been working on, so I'll share that with you as well. So thank you for being patient. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for not giving up on me. If you are new, I've been doing videos for a while, but it's been about 3 months since my last video. So please feel free to ask any questions. Contact me if you would like. I have been reorganizing my craft room and it looks messier than when I started. I added a table and then right now I just didn't clean up for you. I'm sorry. I'm just like, you're like friends. You're not going to be upset with my messiness. So I've got things everywhere, but that's okay. I've been very, very productive. So, all right, let's get into the stitching. All right, I'm going to start with FFOs and finishes. I don't have really a lot of FFOs to show you. I'll put pictures in for some of the things that I've done. Most of what I have are finishes because I haven't FFO'd them. But one of the things I did finish this summer that I'm very proud of was the Red, White, and Bloom set from Brenda Gervais. So I finished them all. Let me get this. And I FFO'd them all. And they've been on display during July. And this little tray, which I got at Hobby Lobby. And then I just stuffed them as pillows. Nothing fancy. So just stitched them and then finished them. And I do the finish the way Brenda instructs you to do, where you take the backing is 2 pieces. You sew them together with an opening and then you stuff them and then anyway, it's in her instructions. It makes for a nice, neat back. But that has been my July display at my front door. I'm not sure what my favorite one is. I love Uncle Sam. And then, of course, the eagle. And then Red, White, and Bloom. This was the one that got me I stopped working on this last year because the white doesn't show up very well. And my attitude this summer is just get it done. And so I did, and I'm very happy with it. It's the only one that doesn't show up as well. That's really cute. And then the last one is Lady Liberty, and she's adorable. So that was an FFO that I finished probably in May or June. I'm not really sure. But I've had a couple of finishes, FOs. So let me show you some of my favorites. This was a kit that I received from Scattered Seed last year. It's the Summer Sweets Pin Keep, and the chart's available now, but I received it as a kit. It's stitched on vintage country mocha. I think it's like 36 count with DMC, and it is beautiful, and I have all the materials to FFO it, but I haven't done that yet. So that's one. And then another one that I'm super proud of was my 25/7 piece in June. And this is a chart. I think you can still get these through Brenda Gervais Country Stitches online, but I know as a shop owner I can't get them. I think you only can get them through her shop now, or a shop that may have had them in the past. But this is Sampler of the Season Summer. And
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Sorry. And it is really, really pretty. And I have all 4 of these completed. So I think I can show you all 4 of them. Let's see. I had these 2 of them framed in different frames that were different sizes. And when I was working on the summer one, I said, you know what? I don't want these all different. I want them to look the same and be the same size. So I went, because they're all stitched on light exemplar. I think it's 40 count from Lakeside Linen. And I wanted them all to kind of display together and look the same. So I ordered some frames from Custom Frames online, and they came pretty quickly. So this is winter. It was easy. I just took it out of the current frame and put it in this one. That's the only one that worked that way, because I also have spring, but I'm having to restretch it. So I've got to do a little bit more work on it. But that's spring. And then a few years ago, I finished autumn. Isn't that pretty? I think that was my favorite. And then now summer's finished. So again, I think these are available through Country Stitches online. I'll link it below, and you can check with Brenda. But as a shop owner, I can't order those. I have all the frames. I just have to get those together and stretch them. Actually, I have to go buy foam core because I'm out. All right, I'm going to duck down and put this over here. All right, so that's some of my finishes. So I have another finish that is going to come up twice. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. One of the things I've done this summer, if you know me, you know I love to plan. That's probably like why I'm enjoying being the interim chair. But I love to plan things, and then I love to execute plans. So this summer, I decided to go through my WIPs, pick out things that I know I wanted to finish, and then work on them for 7 days. And some of these I have been able to finish. Others I've found I don't like them. So one of the ones that I worked on and finished is Miss Baxter's House from Stacy Nash. And this is really cute, and I enjoyed stitching it. But I don't think I'm going to keep it. And I'll talk about that later in the video, because I don't know where I would hang this. This is stitched on 32 count, maybe lamb's wool. This is Weigart fabric. And it's not the called for, it's substitutions of the called for. But it's really cute. Oh my gosh, sorry. Let me take this off. But that's finished. It's Miss Baxter's House. I think it's Houses on something lane, but it's Miss Baxter's house. I don't know. I'll talk about that again in a little bit. So I finished that. And I think that's all of my finishes with cross stitch. I'll talk about some other finishes in just a second. Okay, so now let's talk about my WIPs. So my oldest WIP is a huge floral piece from Just Cross Stitch magazine. So if you watch my video, you know what's about to come up. It is called Splendor of Florals. It was a series that was released through, I think it was I'll tell you the dates. 2010. I think it started in February 2010. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count antique white. And I have been working on this since 2014. In the last video, I showed you that I was working on the December, and I have finished it. So that's December, poinsettia. And then this is the ones that I've finished so far. So I have half of them done. And my plan is to try to get at least 1, if not 2 more done this year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's my plan. But it is beautiful. It's mainly DMC. The border is a Karen Water Lilies. And again, this was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine over the course of, I think it was the full year back in 2010. So, all right, so that is one whip that has a sort of finish. And I plan on getting that done. It's going to be another year before it's finished, though, and I'm okay with that. Another whip that I worked on this past, earlier in the month of August is Autumn at Hawthorne Hollow. So I have something to talk about here. So I had started the top. I haven't done the top, and I've finished these 2 blocks, and I was working on this 3rd block. So that was my progress. Let me show you how far I've gotten, and then tell you what my plan is. So I've finished the 3rd, and I've started the 4th. But that's not the 4th on here. I was looking at it, and I was talking to my husband. I said, you know, I really don't want to stitch all these blocks. And I don't want to do this one. And I really don't want to do these 2. And I'm not doing the Halloween for this. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do one more. So I picked this one. And you'll see, if you may have noticed, that my fabric, there's no room other than those 4. So I'm just going to stitch that last one, and I will be done with this. And I think it looks great. I'll do the top and have this ready maybe by November. We'll see. So that's another whip that I have worked on. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else over here. All right, no. Now, let me pause because I have some other things to show you. Okay, so I have a basket that I keep downstairs next to my stitching area. So I had to go get that to show you my current whips, the things that I am working on. And one is I had not planned to start this. And then I got it into my shop and decided I had to stitch this. And I ordered the finishing materials. And it is the weigh-in series monthly weigh-in series by Stitching with the Housewives. So I'm working on the September. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them, but I thought that September one was really cute. So I've gotten that much done. And honestly, I haven't stitched on this in about a week and a half. So I need to get back to work. I have 2 more weeks before I have to have it completed and FFO'd. I ordered the finishing material from Paisleys and Polka Dots, and I'm going to, instead of painting it this green, I think I'm just going to do black and cream. So I'm really excited about that. The October ones just came in. I have those posted in my Etsy shop, and I think I might stitch to that one. I'm not sure. I have to decide, but I loved the September one. All right, so that's one. Another one that I've been working on all year long is the temperature butterflies. And I am almost up to date. So here is my progress. So you can see in Colorado we have real seasons. And that July is the hottest we've had so far. And this unfinished one over here, this is August. I have all the dates up until today. I haven't done today. And then you can see down here, I'm starting this September. I try to have the outline done. Like I should have had this done last Sunday, but I just didn't do it. But I'll get to work on that this week and have it done. So when September rolls around, I'll be ready to start filling in those spaces. But this is a lot of fun. Even my husband is interested in this one. He thinks it's really cool. So it's really sweet. And I have an idea of what I might do next year for a temperature chart. I'm so excited. I may share that in my next video. All right, so that's my other constant whip. That will go on through the end of the year. My current focus piece is Matter in Hand by Jeanette Douglas. This was my challenge piece for the Sampler Guild of the Rockies. And I just realized I was looking at the, what do we call it? newsletter last night that I have to have this done by September's meeting. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I need to work a little more on this. But I have done about half of it. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count. I think this is fabric that I got from Farm Girl in the Patreon. But I've done 2 of the 4 rows. I haven't done the words, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to. I don't know. Probably will, because it will look incomplete otherwise. But so, and it doesn't take that long. I have 2 more days of stitching on this, and we'll probably get that 3rd row. You can see that 3rd row is very small little motifs. So I'll get it done by the September meeting. I just know I will. So that's my current whip that I'm focusing on. And then the only other stitching that I have to show you is my 25/7 piece. So this is the one that I stitch on at least 25 minutes a day, every day of the week. This is from Melanie Watkins' Facebook group. I actually stitch on it more than 25 minutes lately because I've enjoyed stitching it. I am close to a finish, so I will definitely have it done by August, by the end of August. So it is on a piece of R&R something, I don't know. But here's my progress. Isn't that beautiful? It is so pretty. So I have to fill in the white under the main floor on one side, and then the brick foundation on the house, and the house will be finished. And the border actually goes quicker than you would expect. Isn't that the prettiest border? So there's not a lot left to do. So I should be able to finish that by the end of August. And when that happens, I will pick up another 25/7 piece. I'm not sure what it is. I think I wrote something down last night, but I've forgotten already. So those are my whips that I've been working on recently. All right, my plans are, I've got 2 more days on the matter in hand that I'll work on, and then I'll continue working on the Summer at Hollyberry Farms by Stacy Nash. I will probably, if I finish the Summer at Hollyberry Farm, I'll probably switch matter in hand to my 25/7 until that's complete. But starting on Tuesday, I'm going to switch to a different focus piece, and I'm going to work on a Just Nan piece. Haunted Autumn Mouse in a House. And I love these kind of things. So my stitching preference is all over the place. So I have worked on this. I started it quite a while ago, and I finished the mouse. Isn't that cute? I just have to assemble it. And then I'm working on the house. So I have this much done on, I think this is the inside floor. So you have to do essentially 8 walls, because you do the outside and inside, and then the floor on the outside and inside. So I'm working on one of 10 pieces. But they go pretty quickly. These aren't very big. There's just a lot of color changes, and it's all DMC with some beads. So I get my Just Nan charts, because I don't carry Just Nan, but I get mine primarily from Katrina, my friend Katrina, and if I can find the link to her shop, I'll put that below. All right, so in my other plan, like I said, is to continue working on the Summer at Hollyberry Farms, and then switch to matter in hand. I think that's it. All right, so now I have to share some other crafting that I've been doing. I'm so excited about it. All right, one of my goals this summer was to get as much crafting projects completed as I possibly could, that's all of our goals. But I wrote a plan down. I had a little notebook, and I had mapped out every week what I was going to do. I didn't get as much done, but I did get things completed. One of my favorite things I completed was the vintage excuse me, Farm Girl Vintage 2 quilt that I have been working on for a few years, probably 2 years. So I pieced it, and then I took it to the quilter, and she quilted it, and she did a fabulous job. And so now I have to put the binding on. But I'll put a picture here of what it looks like, and it is just beautiful, and it is huge. It covers our queen size bed. So I got that one done. The other thing is I have these quilt-alongs that I will start, and then I get bogged down and I won't finish them. So I decided I was going to really focus on those and try not to start another one. Tried. So I have 2 different quilt-alongs that I want to show you my progress. I have like 5 that I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going to show you the progress on 2. One is the Lori Holt, what is it, Prairie Meadow quilt-along that started this last summer, 2022. I have all of the 12 blocks pieced, or have all of the parts done. I just need to applique down the images or the pieces for the 12th block. So I'm going to go from 12 back to 1. So this is the 12th block. So everything is in place. I just have to go around, and you can see how that's not attached permanently. I just have to go in and applique or whip stitch all of that down. And I do that by hand, and then trim this to the proper size, which is like 16.5 square. Isn't that pretty? All right, so that's block 12. Oh, I'm not going to go backwards. I'll just show you them. Here's the next 11 blocks. So these are all ready to be set into the quilt. This is one of my favorites. And this is on Lori's blog. She has a blog called, what is it? Be in My Bonnet, and I'll link that below. I ordered the quilt through, the kit for this through Fat Quarter Shop. And I had the templates, because when you do applique with Lori Holt, she has this template set that you use. She gives all the instructions on how to do this, makes it very simple. But I would get distracted, and that's why I didn't have it finished. But I'm close. Aren't these so pretty? That one. The colors are so bright, but that's Lori. Her stuff is beautiful. So, this one I struggle with these yellow flowers. They're not the best, but they're good. They're fine. That one got wrinkled, sorry. And almost the end. Doesn't that remind you of Christmas? And then the last one to show you is my favorite. I love that orange and blue. I'm gotten on an orange kick, which is fine. So those are all ready. I'll put in a picture here that I had spread them all out. There's sashing that go between them, and then there's a border around it, but you can get an idea of how they're going to look together. So pretty. I'm so proud of those. And if you follow Lori, you know she has quilt-alongs all the time. And I decided I wanted to be a part of the Bee Vintage. And so I bought the kit from Fat Quarter Shop. I have everything prepped. I'm just about a week behind. But that's okay, because I have some finished. So this one is a much easier quilt-along. So if you've never done this, I would start with this one before I would jump to the Prairie Meadow, because these are larger pieces, and it's easier to keep up with, even though I'm not keeping up. So, very cute. And this flower is absolutely adorable. And then this teapot. Strawberry. Cherries. Maple leaf, and then the Scotty dog. And again, she has these templates to help you cut these out. And she has a method that's really easy to make them look so beautiful. So that's my quilting I've been working on. I also watch Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. If you have watched her, you know what I'm talking about. She can get you into a lot of trouble. And there's a quilt. Where is it? Oh, it's on top of that. See that little pumpkin right there? Behind that is a quilt that I'm going to do because Elizabeth Ann was showing one that she was doing, or Liz was showing one that she was doing called the Madeline quilt. I printed it out here. And you just need a jelly roll and a background fabric. So I have jelly rolls because, you know, you buy them because you have big plans. So I have the jelly roll, and then I had enough background fabric from the Vintage Farm Girl 2 quilt along that I did through Stitcher's Heaven in Texas that I'm going to be able to use it as the background for this. So I'll show that when I get to work on it. But that's another quilt. Thank you, Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. So let me talk a little bit about some other influence that Liz has had. One thing that I did work on this summer that did not show up, or I worked on this Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Design. And I don't have anything to show, and I'll explain why. But I was not enjoying it. It did not look, the colors did not look the same as the image. And the more I stitched, the more frustrated I became. And then I was watching Liz talk about hers, and she was having the same struggle. And she's like, I'm just not going to stitch it. And I'm like, me either. And I cut the fabric, the stitch part, threw that away, and kept the rest of it. And that's my new thing. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to stitch it. So that is, Liz, you have been a great influence. So many times you've been an influence that has caused me to have stacks around my craft room. But if you don't watch Liz, which most of us do, she's amazing. So you should watch that. All right, last little bit I want to talk about are kind of my what I've been doing otherwise. I have gotten obsessed with making wreaths for my door. When my husband and I first moved, let's see, we had been married a few years. We were living in Houston, Texas, and I could go to the Garden Ridge out in Katy, Texas, and buy materials and make the cutest wreaths. I had a different wreath on our door every month. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to do my entire married life. And I haven't done it that much. So my plan was to do that. I'm going to get back into making wreaths for my door. So I was online looking, and I found someone she's on Etsy. So if you don't want to make them, you can buy them from her. But she gives instructions on how to make really good wreaths. And I'll put a picture in here of the first wreath that I've made based on her tutorials. And I just love it. I actually, after I made it, I sat out on the front porch and looked at it for like 35 minutes because I was so proud of myself. But the designer, or the person that the tutorial I watched, is the Door Doctor. And she has several. One of the ones that I'm going to make is using this pumpkin frame that you can get at Dollar General. You're supposed to be able to get these things at Dollar General. I never find anything good. I didn't find it when I was in Mississippi. I haven't found good things at our Dollar General here. But you can order these. You have to order several, but you can still order them. And so that's what I did. I have the frame, and you make a pumpkin using that polyvinyl burlap stuff. So I'll show you that when I finish it. But the picture I showed is the sunflower, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And then that got me into sunflowers. So another shop that I love is the, what's the name of this shop? Oh, it's not Shabby Fabric, is it? Yeah, Shabby Fabric. It's a sunflower garland. And I'll put a link to their shop below. But she had this on one of the emails that I got. Yeah, shabbyfabric.com. And sent all the materials to make that garland. And my plan is to work on this after I finish recording today. So the other thing is I spent the all day yesterday on the Colorado, or it's the Rocky Mountain Quilt Shop hop. There are 9 shops that are involved. I did this last year and had a wonderful time. I actually got the pin because I went to all 9 of the shops. So that's the pin from last year. And I went and did all 9 of the shops yesterday. So it was the Main Street, I guess, Colorado Main Street. So it's these old-fashioned buildings. So each of the 9 shops had a different building. And you could get a project that used the panel, or you could use, they each had their own quilt using the 9 different blocks. I'm not going to do the quilt, I don't think. I might, I don't know. But I did buy the panel at each of the shops, and I've got to decide how I'm going to use those. So I did that, and of course when you're doing that, you're buying a whole bunch of other stuff. I bought some jelly rolls to make some other quilts. And then I also bought a set of 3 different fabrics to do a quilt that's a 3-yard quilt. So I don't know. I have way too many projects planned. But so that's what I did yesterday. I had a great time. I was exhausted when it was over. And I did get another pin, but I don't know. I don't see it immediately here. Anyway, I might show it in another video. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm just having a great time, enjoying myself. This summer was amazing. I loved having my son. Older son Patrick has moved over here. He's working part-time, still looking for a full-time job, but he is fine. He works all the time. I mean, he's making as much money part-time as his brother is full-time over in Mississippi. So Nicholas and Brittany, my younger son and his girlfriend, are on schedule to move in September, the end of September. So I'm excited about that. Can't wait to see those 2 over here. Patrick is like, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay. I might move somewhere else. So I've been like cooking a whole bunch of different foods for him, like all of his favorite foods. I'm like, you do realize that I'm like trying to trick you into staying here because you won't ever want to leave with all this wonderful food. He just laughs, but we'll see. I don't know. Okay. So last couple of things I want to talk about. My shop. I have an Etsy shop, and then I have an independent website. I moved to the independent website a little over a year ago because of issues I was having on Etsy. And Etsy, there are problems, but I do not get the traffic on my independent website that I do on Etsy. So I'm moving my stuff back onto Etsy. I'm still going to keep the independent website open. There are things that are listing, mainly new things. So you'll see, if you've been on that shop, you'll see that I'm removing a lot of listings of older things. So like Needlework Marketplace is coming up. I will have listings on both Etsy and my independent website for those different items. But I'm just moving things back onto Etsy. It's a lot easier to, well, I get more traffic that way. But also just the shipping process is so much easier, so much faster. And I'm doing this in addition to my full-time job, so I need to be able to get this shipping, things packed in, ready to go pretty quickly, because I do that early in the morning before I leave for work, and Etsy is a lot easier to do that with. So I will have links to both shops below. Feel free to look on, both of those. I do run sales in each one of them pretty much every week. On my independent site, I run a 20% off charts in 2 or 3 different tabs, and that changes each week. And then in Etsy, I'm kind of doing the same thing, and it's not necessarily the same item, so you can look on both of those to see what's listed for sale. Marketplace, or Needlework Market, is coming up, which is the online version. And I've been looking at everything. I do not do pre-orders just because it's a lot of hassle for me and for the people that are ordering, because if you pre-order, you hope to get things pretty quickly, and sometimes you don't. So I don't do pre-orders. But I'm attending. I will have access to all of the different charts, and you'll see those listed as soon as I get them in stock. So I don't list them until they are, in my hands, because I just don't want to upset anybody. So, All right. And then the last thing is I'm going to do a giveaway. And people are going to think this is crazy, but I love to stitch, and I cannot hang everything I have stitched on my walls. You can see that my walls are pretty well covered. Something fell off the wall right there. That's why there's a gap there. But I don't have the room for everything. And some things I stitch and it's like, I don't know, I'll put it in a box. So I'm going to give away one of my finishes. Where did I put it? It's one that I just showed you. Let's see. Oh, there it is. It is the Miss Baxter's house. So it is going to be unframed. It's just going to be this. But if you are interested in this sampler, if you would like to be the owner of this, just leave a message below or a comment below and mention chickens. Please do not say anything about giveaway, winning, anything that's going to indicate that it's a giveaway. But I will draw the winner for this on the next, right before my next video. It's going to be US only, and I'm not going to do international shipping. But if you're interested in this finished piece, not fully finished, but just finished piece, just leave a message below and mention chickens. Okay? And I may do several of these over the course of the remainder of the year. So, all right, that's kind of been a scattered, crazy mess because I'm out of practice, but I hope you all are enjoying the end of the summer. It is absolutely beautiful here in Colorado. We have all our windows open. I'm wearing long sleeves because it is cool outside. I just love Colorado. And I hope you all enjoy the remainder of your summer, and I hope to be back soon. Bye.